intense, thrilling, electrifying sport on the planet. Mixed martial arts. You've been looking for the definitive podcast to call your new home to hear everything about it. The search is over. This is the MMAnomaly Show. No filter. Bringing you the hottest MMA breakdowns straight from the heart of the octagon. This show is all about MMA breakdowns. For fans, by fans. We're talking UFC, MMA, and the occasional big boxing match. We'll bring our unique take on how these fights are going to play out and who we think are the best bets. Welcome to the MMAnomaly Show. No filter. And now your hosts, Olin, a.k.a. MMAnomaly, and Emiliano, a.k.a. Jive Turkey Nano.
What is up, fight fans? Welcome back to another episode of the MMAnomaly Show, No Filter. I'm your host, Olin, a.k.a. MMAnomaly. With me, as usual, is the co-host with the most. You know who I'm talking about. Jive Turkey, a.k.a. Live Jive. But you might notice there's a new fresh face with us. It's a little bit covered up, but he's still here, folks. Talking about Mad Max Meridian, special co-host of the day. How we doing, brother?
What up, man? Appreciate you having me. How are you guys doing?
Oh, man, another beautiful day in paradise. How you doing, Nano?
Best believe. I'm good to be back, man. And we got the trio. We got a little menage a trois going on here. I'm feeling good, brother. Nice and relaxed off after the Mexico trip. Got to see some family, speak a little Spanish, eat some Mexican food, lay by the beach. A lot of cervezas. Es muy bien. Que bueno. But glad to be back, brother.
On the Spanish as well, huh?
You know, got to learn a little something. Motivated to really fine tune it before the wedding. So that'll be maybe a little thing you'll see maybe sprinkled in on top of all the other singing and other things we keep, we keep surprising y'all with here on this show. So always something new, baby. You know, baby, you know. I did have a little too much spice one of the nights. My stomach was, oof. We can leave that for maybe after the episode, but boy, oh boy.
From the floor up, as they say.
Oh, yeah. They say.
Love that. Well, welcome back to another episode. As you all probably know, there is no UFC card this week, which is kind of a bit of a bummer, but that's okay. That's okay. We're still happy. We got our guy Nano back, and you know you love to see it. And we have more than enough to go over and talk about to keep us busy, folks. So today's show is going to be a little bit different. Instead of breaking down fights that have already happened or fights that we know are going to happen for that matter, instead, we've got something a little bit different planned for you guys. We're actually going to go through and talk about the way we anticipate the structure of UFC 300 being. Originally, the concept was going to be us just flat out building a UFC 300 card, but they announced a lot of official fights in the last handful of days since we talked about this. So I digress. We will go through our picks for maybe a dream fight or two that we wish would sneak its way onto the card, as well as our structuring of the card. And then after that, what I'm really excited about is going through International Fight Week picks. So we are going to go through International Fight Week 2024 anticipation picks, aka the fights that we are most excited to see on the card, folks. So without further ado, we are going to go ahead and jump right on into things. I say we let the new guy, Mad Max, lead us in. What is on your list to start off UFC 300?
Oh, my God. So do you want me to start off with a dream fight to start it off here? Or are we talking the actual structure of the card that's already established?
Oh, brother. I mean, you know what? Let's just fucking start off with a bang. Why don't we start off with a dream fight, my guy?
Oh, my God. I'm still okay. So I've been banging the drum for this one, and I've been looking at the card today, kind of doing a little salivating over what's already established. But then I couldn't help but notice that there's no welterweight fights on here, not one established yet. I'm going with the old Sean Brady Shavkat matchup. I still want it. I've been talking about this one for a couple weeks now. I think grappling-wise, the matchup's exciting. You've got a guy in Sean Brady who's obviously got a pretty fundamental jiu-jitsu style. He's got good wrestling, and then you have Shavkat doing this weird unconventional things, like the shit that he pulled off on Jeff Neal with the hip and the crazy. Like, it wasn't even really an RNC. Like, it was kind of across his jaw, and he just big brothered him. So, yeah, I think dream matchup. I'm going to start off with that one.
That's a banger. That's a banger. That's definitely a matchup we'd all want to see, right? I mean, Sean Brady's only chink in his armor was against Bilal, who's humming right now, unfortunately. And I don't know if you saw Sean Brady's episode on Joe Rogan, but he just was a little off, just wasn't able to get it done. Some other things going on as well, but he's dialed in, ready to go, man. He's so strong, and he has some of the best merch I've seen too. I also want to get one of his shirts. It's a grit and guillotines, and he has like a cool little logo on the back. But yeah, man, that'd be an exciting matchup. Shafkat to Daug. That can be something that, they're both, I'm assuming, healthy. I know, well, Shafkat did have an injury when he fought Wonder Boy, so who knows where his actual status is there. That would be nice to confirm, but boy, would that be a treat for UFC 300. That's a good dream matchup, and it's realistic too. That dream can actually become a reality. Wouldn't be mad about it.
Neither would I, and it looks like I just found out how to zoom out a little bit. Sorry, what was that, Max?
No, I was just thinking, I think you're right on the injury thing, and now that you say that, I'd actually forgotten about that. It makes me wonder how long he's going to be, like, sidelined with that.
If he had to have surgery, I mean, I'm assuming he had it probably right after the fight, so maybe he's already better than we thought. But yeah, how quick can he get back into a training camp or back into back into a full go? We'll have to wait and see. But that is a dream one. I like it. Like your style, brother.
I appreciate it. 300's in April, right? Mid-April, something like that.
April 13th, day after my birthday.
Okay.
Nice.
That's easy to remember then.
You come for the MMA stuff, but you stay for the dancing and songs. So my pick is we're starting off with dream picks, obviously, right? So instead of going with the one that's already on the beaten path, we're gonna go off the beaten path, so to speak, and we're gonna throw a little fork in the road here, folks. We're gonna keep one half of a fight that's on UFC 300 and Jim Miller. We're gonna replace Bobby Green, though. Much as I love the guy, had the pleasure of meeting him twice. Both times he was a pleasure. I'm pretty sure he flipped off the camera both times when I took a selfie with him. Good times. Gonna go ahead and replace him with Takanori Gomi.
Ooh.
I think Takanori Gomi versus Jim Miller is just got fireworks written all over it, man.
That's hilarious. My opening note here. I don't know if you can read that.
I can't read it.
Says Jim Miller opening fight change is my very first note, is to change that matchup.
Let's go.
That's hilarious.
Oh,
yeah, I'm not thrilled with that matchup. Takanori Gomi's a sick pick there. That's wild.
you know what I'm saying? I feel like that's the move, man. I don't know, dude. I don't know.
I thought a realistic one might be Patty, like especially with the star power behind him and shit. Like I don't like Patty, but I think the name and everything, the matchup there, like that's actually a favorable matchup for Jim Miller too. Give him a good win at 300 over somebody with like some draw who's kind of, got a fan base behind him. Bobby Green is known in the real fans, but I don't know that he's that well known with the casual community compared to like somebody
I agree.
like Patty.
I completely agree with that. And with that being said, should we do it like fantasy draft style and just like go back and forth across the line?
Might as well. Yeah. Keep it moving.
Cool. So, I mean, if that's the case, then I went last this time, so I go first this next time. First real match, not going to be super exciting. Not going to steal any steam from anybody. If I'm just stacking the order of UFC 300 based on what we already see that they have, because I know that it's not really listed in the correct order on Google right now. I think Jim Miller versus Bobby Green is probably going to start off that card. Realistically, I think they would want to start it off with some legends. And I think they wouldn't have set that fight up if they didn't think that both of these guys were legends with a little bit of the dog in them. So, I mean, realistically, why wouldn't they set that up to start off the main card? You just know it's going to start off as a banger if you've got that go.
That's not a bad choice. That's not a bad choice, my brother. I do like it. And to the similar point to you, I felt like that'd be a good prelim main event potentially for maybe all of the casuals or people that are going to have it on TV and give people a reason to tune in for the main event. Kind of give Jim Miller his time, or the opportunity to kind of be the prelim main event was who I have slotted in that spot there. But to kick off the main card would be pretty good as well. But man, I guess unless they do 6 fights, I can squeeze that in there. But boy, oh boy, there's like so many good fights to choose from. It was really hard for me to put that in that top 5 or 6. I do like your style, brother. Honestly, he deserves all the credit. I mean, he's an absolute legend, Hall of Famer. I mean, maybe you should give him that benefit of the doubt. Throw him a point or two from the pay-per-view, but no, in all reality, I think that's a good one. And yeah, I didn't really have like a dream fight per se. I know I kind of got skipped over there, but it's fine because yeah, I really didn't have much. The one I do want to see, but it just feels like it's going to end up being an international fight week. But to get Conor and Michael Chandler official and announced on that 300 card would make it have all the star power it needs. That's kind of a crazy call out or option, as Dana White mentioned on Instagram or at the post-fight conference, one of those two. So that would be my dream matchup, is that to get announced 300. That would maybe be the main event or co-main automatically. But getting Conor and Chandler would be fun.
I'm not mad at that. I don't think they'll announce it for 300 just because Conor said that if it happens, or I mean, not if it happens, he says it is going to happen in June at a national fight week. So, we'll have to see if he stays true to that. Dana's already debunked it, though, and said that until he announces that it's not true. We'll see. Mad Max, what's the real fight that's starting off UFC 300, brother?
Oh, man. So the Jim Miller fight, I kind of agree with your placement. So when I first initially looked at this, I was thinking he should be actually what Nana was saying there with the headline of the prelims, like the premier little spot there. But then you start looking at the rest of it, and it's like, ooh, compared to some of these other people, again, it's not like you're snubbing anybody with the positioning here. It's just that the card is so stacked. It's like, where do you put everybody at? So to start the prelims there, yeah, I think you could go Jim Miller or maybe with Bobby Green, or if we could get that Gomi matchup, I would kind of prefer the old swap. If we could do that, that'd be all right.
You mean to start the main card?
Oh, I thought we were starting with the prelims. My bad.
Oh shit! To start the prelims of 300? Holy shit!
I skipped all the way back. My bad.
My guy, hold on. If
main card.
Maybe I didn't look at the card,
dude. It's there's 10 fights already, something like that. I was going through and doing the whole thing. I'm sorry.
I mean, no, you're fine. I mean, there's definitely some stacked fights, but in my opinion, I feel like
I'm doing my dream matchup in that spot.
Calvin Kattar, Aljamain Sterling.
That's arguably that's who I have as a prelim main event. If
that's
not,
a prelim headliner. That's literally what I have as a prelim headliner.
Yeah, if not Bobby Green, Jim Miller, those are my two options. So I can.
Before that, I've got Davison Figueiredo versus Cody Garbrandt. I don't think that's a main card fight.
No, that's not the co-main I had, and it's only because they just announced it. But maybe we're going to be on the same page here, Max. But I think I was going to put Holly Holmes versus Kayla Harrison debut in the UFC at 135. And you got to assume she's going to get the championship contender fight right after this if she beats Holly Holmes for whoever has the belt at the time. I don't know, man. Might be an introduction there. Get the whole world to see her on a public stage before the actual main pay-per-view.
I think this is going to be our first major disagreement. I've got a major twist on this where I don't even have Holly Holm versus old PFL champion herself.
Oh, make weight.
That's the thing, huh?
I don't think Kayla Harrison makes 155. Or sorry, 155. She makes 155. Yeah. Sure, for sure. I don't think she makes 135 right out the gates. So what I think happens is I think for undisclosed reasons, this fight gets pushed back to 301.
Ooh.
I realistically think that May.
Don't you put that evil on me, Ricky Bobby?
I'm just being honest, bro. I have this similar thing about IFW too. Like,
Yeah, you never know.
Like, you
These
don't
things
have to
happen.
like me.
Cancellations always
It's
happen.
okay.
It's not
you don't have
personal.
to like me for you to agree with me. Like, I love you, bro. I'm just trying to be real. Like,
No,
I don't
okay.
think Kayla Harrison makes 135. I mean, that's a quick turnaround. And she literally like said on the Helwani show, what seems like not that long ago, and I quote, "You would have to cut off both of my legs for me to hit 135."
Her words.
Unless she's gonna beat Holly Holm without legs, I don't know that it's gonna happen, folks.
Hey, let me tell you though, she did post that picture with Dustin. She looked decent. She looked skinnier. She didn't look like huge.
Dustin's also out of camp. He's probably 180 fucking pounds right now. And they look the same size, my guy.
Oh, that, I
get
mean,
it.
yeah, we put it that
agree.
way.
She looks
Yeah.
slim in that picture, but if you put me next to my nephew, I look like fucking Hulk Hogan. If you put me next to Hulk Hogan, I look like my nephew. That's why it's very important when you like look at who they're standing next to. It can drastically change the way that they look.
Well, she does look pretty shredded. I mean, or like buff. I mean, all the
absolutely.
above.
I mean,
Like
her
it's
arms look significantly smaller in that picture. I'll give her that. But she's also wearing a black t-shirt, black pants. Like she's wearing
baggy.
dark clothes. It's baggy.
yeah.
That picture can be very, very deceiving. We've seen pictures like that of Conor McGregor where he looks super thin, and then we see him walking down the strip the next day and he looks fucking puffier than Sylvester Stallone in fucking First Blood, bro.
There you go.
I'm not trying to be a dick. I'm just trying to keep it real.
I've been wondering ever since that fight got announced. I'm like, I don't know about that. They better have a backup plan or something.
Yeah.
If she makes weight, I'm concerned with how she's going to look. I feel like she's going to be extremely drained.
I want Holly to head kick another judoka, man. I want to repeat.
I want the opposite.
That may be all it takes.
I'll tell you
Oh.
the dream.
I got
I'll tell you the
some
dream
plans
scenario.
Oh,
I'll tell you the dream scenario. I want Kayla Harrison to come out there and just slobber knock her, get a dominant fucking grappling win over Holly Holm, and then get on the mic and call out Amanda Nunes.
Oh.
And then have Amanda Nunes come back for International Fight Week. And she blasts Amanda Nunes with the same thing and avenge Ronda Rousey.
My first note for International Fight Week: Kayla wins. Amanda comes back. International Fight Week.
Nice.
Damn it!
We're jumping around, but I love it, man. Hey, that's a good note. That's a good.
My goodness, with the hive mind. With the hive mind moment.
Yeah.
Oh!
It just seems like the logical matchup there.
It truly, truly does, folks. It truly, truly does. Well, we obviously have very, very different starters. So, what's your starter for the main card here, Mac?
For the main card, I was actually thinking with the fan base that this dude is gathering already, it would be a decent little spot to kind of put him in. Maybe controversial. I like the Bo Nickel Cody Brundage matchup to start the main pay-per-view.
Oh man,
I know people are gonna hate on that, but I just think the dude's got the fan base, and
I'm not mad at it. Can I tell you something? Can I let you in on a little secret?
I like it.
I have a secret.
The Bo Show.
It is the Bo Show. That's why I have Jim Miller versus Bobby Green starting off UFC 300, followed by Bo Nickel.
Ooh.
Also a good slot.
Well,
I feel like Bo is the young kid. He's carrying a big fan base, and with another 1 or 2 wins, he's in that conversation. I don't need to even say what it is. You guys know what I'm talking about. He's in that conversation.
Yeah.
but for that reason, I'm out. I'm out, dog. Call me Randy Jackson, brother, because he's not even in my main event, bro. He's not even my co-prelim main event. That's where I have Bo. It's laughable. And it's because it's his opponent, bro. I hate to say it.
Because you got to be making a fucking bad joke here, kid. Talk to me, Goose.
Hey, well, okay, we'll discuss, because I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 fights in my main event. Do you guys have 5 as well?
I've got 5, yeah.
Okay. So I'll quickly go over the ones that are left out, because Bo Nickel and Cody Brundage, which I felt honestly might be one of the more disappointing fights that night.
Actually,
potentially.
sorry, I have 6, because it's UFC 300. I have 6 on there.
Okay, then I can still add another one and be just fine. Shit. Okay, well then maybe if I have to pull from one of these, I'm still not going Bo and Cody. I'm not going Cody against Davison Figueiredo. I'm not going Holly Holm Kayla. I'm not going Bobby Jim. I'd probably go Aljo Calvin Cater, just because Aljo's the next champ, honestly. And there's implications on him going up a weight class. If he wins, he's right in the conversation for a belt there. And how he looks, obviously, over Calvin Kattar, who is a dog. But that's who I would take. If Bo is fighting someone better or ranked, it's automatic. But Cody Brundage.
Cody Brundage hater. Everybody boo this man.
I kind of am, but
it's his company on this card. I have to agree. His company on this card is stout.
Yeah.
He's swimming in a deep ocean here. Like, honestly, as far as name goes, like, I gotta agree on that one. But I just think Bo overcompensates so much with his name that it's like, all right, that's the spot to put him in.
I hear you. But you know what?
It's Bo for show. You already know.
Bo for show. I do like Bo for show. And all things considered, I love Bo for show. Bo knows. But what I do know is if they do want to start off this fight card with a bang, they're going to throw on one of the most exciting fights here for the main card opener, 300. I think it's going to be Charles Oliveira, Mr. UFC, against the newcomer looking for a title shot against Islam again. I'm talking about Arman Sarukian. I think that's how you start off the card, ladies and gentlemen. I think that's how you start it off.
That'd be wild.
That'd be fun. You start off with a bang.
Yeah.
And that's the UFC guy, UFC kid. Now turned into a man. Now turned into the old wise guy. Charles Oliveira. Against the young bucks. That'd be a fun one.
So you have that starting off the card, huh? Okay.
Mm-hmm. And that's how stacked this card is, yes. I'll explain. I'll explain after this because most of the other fights have big implications as well. So
I got a message about you on this show, and they said like your catchphrase is "This fight has implications."
Mine?
Yeah.
Let's go. Huge implications on this one.
Again, I'm like, he's right.
I'm glad you brought that. I'm glad I was able to remind you there. Hell yeah. Let's go.
This fight has implications. So yeah, you have a catchphrase, bro. That's your beaten potatoes striker.
Implications.
So, yeah. With that being said, I've let Mad Max go first. I've gone first. We kind of fucked you with no lube there in the beginning. Sorry about that. Why don't you go ahead and go first on what you think should be next after that card opener, the main card opener?
Yeah.
What is this fight with implications, Nano? Tell us more.
Well, it's someone else that is an ex-champ. Right on cue. We're talking about another ex-champion against a dog in the division who just really had some unfortunate health injuries. Okay. But we're talking about a division that's needed some shaking, some rattling of the cage. And we've gotten it recently in the prodigy, the crazy legend, Alex Poetan, right? He's now in the division. He's a dog. And he may have beat this other dog in Yuri Prohashka, but he's got another junkyard dog in front of him, Alexander Rakic, you ladies and gentlemen. 6'4", 205, 31 years old, in his prime. That's going to be a banger, and that has to be the second fight on this card, ladies and gentlemen. That's my pick.
I'm not mad about it. I am definitely not mad about it.
I want to see Alexander, man. I want to see him striking with Yuri. I want to see what Yuri deploys. There's going to be some fun, big leg kicks. These are two big, powerful human beings. Boy, oh boy. I think it's going to be a fun one.
I was pulling for him hard in his last fight. I was kind of disappointed with that injury.
It sucked. Yeah, it sucked.
Hopefully he's good. I mean, those kind of injuries, too, it worries you about the trajectory of the rest of his career. It's like, are we good? Is this altered? Are we going to be the same? Is movement going to be compromised now? But like somebody like Yuri, that's not something you don't want. That's definitely not an issue you want to be worrying about somebody like that. So if you had to pick in that one, who are we going with?
Oh, you mentioned, huh? Is it going to be like a Weidman situation or Anderson Silva coming back? Are they going to be a little different? Is there going to be a little hitch in his step? He's a big son of a gun. I think I would have to lean Yuri a little bit just because of how he had his chances against Alex. He beat Glover Teixeira in an absolute brawl in basically a murder match to the death almost. And he's a talented guy. He's an enigma. He's an MMA anomaly in a lot of ways. I love him as a fighter. I would have to lean him in terms of his skill set. But boy, Alexander Rakic is a dog. I mean, it's just we see the best version of him. I mean, there may not be a lot of humans on this planet that can stop that individual. So we'll have to wait and see. But I'm leaning Yuri. I don't know if you guys agree or disagree there, but it's a big one.
I'll jump in. I disagree. As much as I really like Yuri Prochazka, I think he's fantastic. He's a really fun fighter. The Bushido code, the whole samurai gimmick. I love it. But at the same time, I'm also here to tell you, like, gimmicks don't win fights. And he is the opposite of a meat and potato striker. The reason I say that is because he leaves a lot of openings when he throws strikes. He leaves his head on the center line very often. More often than not, his head is left on the center line. He is a Muay Thai coach's absolute worst nightmare. The way that he strikes, the way that he fights, he has a nice flow state form of fighting. But with all due respect, he, even while in that flow state, in his best version that I've seen of it, he still leaves himself in very, very open positions to be hit. And that just doesn't bode well for me in a matchup against somebody that hits as hard and has as much springy just pop in his movements as somebody whose nickname is a fucking rocket. So for that reason, I got Alexander Rakic. I just think that Rakic has better fundamentals. And if push comes to shove and this does become a grappling match, I also think Alexander Rakic has better grappling fundamentals. Max, you can correct me if I'm wrong on this one. You obviously would know better. I'm not the grappler in the group, but striking wise, I hands down would say that Rakic is the more impressive guy. And from what I understand, as far as grappling comprehension, I would say he has a very slight edge there as well.
Yeah, I think I would agree with that assessment. You always have to add in the little sprinkle of the unpredictable factor that is Yuri. There's obviously that, and Alexander has proven to have not a compromised chin, but one that's you can test it a little bit. So I always worry about that. And Yuri's the type that he'll take one to give one. But I would agree, and I think so long as the knee injury, isn't completely career changing here, I would lean that way in that fight. I mean, that the odds reflect that. It's a minus 130 right now, so I think the odds kind of reflect exactly that same sentiment. Good placement on the card too. I'm not mad at it. I had somebody different, but I'm not mad at that one.
Who did you have in that spot, Max? Let's hear it.
That's actually where I had the old Max Holloway, Justin Gaethje slot there.
Interesting. Man, our cards are so different stacked.
It's one that's like, you put a fight on there to launch the card. You get the crazy stacked last prelim. You open it up with somebody who you kind of want to give a little star power to, and then you got to give some momentum to the rest of the card. Yeah, you don't get much more momentum than those two. They're going to go out there and beat the shit out of each other. Like, it's basically a title. It's like an unspoken title there. It's the BMF belt, sort of, like, not really, but it's got that kind of spirit to it, I feel like.
It is for the BMF belt, right?
I don't know. They didn't have it on the thing, so
it is. It's for the BMF belt, yeah.
Well, there you go.
Which is a belt, but not a title. Yeah.
And I think this was huge, just because it has major implications. I think that it really does have major implications, this fight, because what happens if Max goes out there and beats Justin Gaethje? He gets a BMF belt. Cool. Great thing to hang up on the mantle. But aside from that, like, he gets the opportunity for the first time in BMF belt history and UFC history to unify the BMF belt with the UFC title. That would put him right at the top. Justin Gaethje is ranked number 3 last time I checked, maybe even number 2. So if he gets beaten at number 2, you got to think Max Holloway, who has been on the pound for pound 15 list for a long time, probably sets himself up for a fucking shot at that guy, Islam Makhachev. And what happens if he goes out there and somehow ends up beating him? Well, the BMF belt gets unified with the lightweight world championship belt of the UFC. That has implications. That has legacy written all over it, my guy. So I love that. I mean, you're absolutely right when you say, Mad Max, that you can't think of much other fights that are going to build momentum. That's a hell of a momentum builder.
It's a springboard into the rest of the card pretty nicely in that slot there.
It's definitely a springboard card. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I'm throwing some different kind of heat on this. I'm hoping that we get a little bit of a late Christmas gift here, and I'm really hoping that we get a little bit of a dream fight for this. Hoping we get a quick turnaround from two young men we just recently saw fight. I'm hoping that they put Sean Strickland versus Chris Curtis on this card.
Oof.
Whoa.
And I'm hoping that
Teammates?
I'm hoping that is the third fight on the card. Right? Because I already said my second fight was Bo Nickel versus Cody Brundage.
Okay.
So
number 3?
This would be number 3 for
Gotcha. Interesting.
What up, Shan? Welcome to the chat, brother.
What up?
What are you?
Silly shy guy.
Good to have you, brother.
So,
Okay.
Yeah, I feel
That's
like
crazy. That's
second one would
crazy.
be Bo Nickel versus Cody Brundage. We don't even need to really talk about that. We've already talked about the Bo show. You already know. If you want to look at that, I'm pretty sure Nano will have the timestamps later commented. It's like probably the 15th minute or something like that. But yeah, I think Chris Curtis versus Sean Strickland should fight each other. Chris Curtis said when basically asked the John Jones versus Rashad Evans question, hey, you guys are teammates. You probably shouldn't fight. Would you ever fight? He said, this guy tries to kill me for free every day of the week. I might as well get a fat bag for it. So pay me. You got to know Chris is going to take the fight. That last win over Marc-Andre Barriault was a very great fight for him. And I'm not going to lie, he looked way slicker than Sean. Granted, he wasn't fighting DDP, an unstoppable force. Still, Marc-Andre Barriault was a still pretty badass, deadly opponent, especially with those slicing downward elbows that he throws, which he missed like 7 out of 10 times he was throwing them because that boy Chris, you're slick with the head movement, folks. I would definitely pay money to see that fight, whether on a big screen TV or in person. Just sign me the fuck up and take my money, kids.
That'd be a wild one. I feel like I like the story of the matchup. I don't like the title ranking, all that implication of it, but I love the story of it, and this is part entertainment. So like, if they're down for it, run it. I don't give a shit.
Why not?
The reason I have it at like the medium point, because I put 6 fights on my card, right? So the reason I have it at my medium point is because, again, same exact reasoning that you put the Max Holloway versus Gaethje fight, Max. I feel like we're halfway through the main card. We got to make sure there's no lull in the action and get people riled up for these last 3.
Agreed. How does it go with the draft ordering there with the picks? You mentioned something with that, like as far as the order goes on them.
What's that?
You for the picks, the order of the fight picks here. Who goes next on it for number 3?
We're just fucking freestyling at this point.
Yeah. I think
Max,
if you
I feel
guys
like
both win, I can go, but
Oh, no, let's go, Max. All right, sorry, let's go, Nano.
I don't know
Yeah.
anything about football. I was worried about the draft order for a minute.
hey,
Oh
well,
God.
This is the
That
no
is a-
filter show, man. If you speak out of line, it's okay. There's no filter here.
Okay.
I got you. Yeah. I was just saying, I
Here,
mean,
Nano.
if you need help on the fantasy football front, I got you, or anything football related for sure. But no, I'm going to mix it up a little bit here, although I do think I'm willing to throw on a 6th fight. But if this is where I feel is a good placement for the 3rd fight here, and it's mostly because these two fighters don't have the star power as some of the other fighters on this card, but there is a belt, there is a championship at stake. I'm talking about the fight that probably should have been in China, but it's Weili Zhang versus Yan Xiaonan. I think that'd be a phenomenal fight to have 3rd here. If there's only 5 fights, then it would be 3rd, but there are 3 belts at stake on this card.
Ooh.
So I felt like this would be a good place to have them at currently. And again, I'm saying that because Dana White mentioned the main event has not officially been announced yet, and it's going to be something crazy that we may not be able to handle. And he's weighing out a couple options this week. These are all things I've heard throughout my extensive research. But yeah, that's where I'm throwing that one here. In the 3 spot. I might have some things that might shock y'all here later, but again, I think it's a good one.
Damn, that's one of the fights I was struggling on placement. I couldn't figure out where to put that one. It's kind of like you said, if you're going 6, which I feel like if you're only going to do a handful of 6 fight cards throughout the year, and
300
the
is probably
year's
one of them.
300, like you're going 6 probably on it. So I don't hate the spot. That's a good placement there. personally, that's actually where I had because of the implications and stuff, that's where I had Charles and Armand. Was in the third slot. Now, if we were going to go with our dream matchups, that's where I wanted Sean and Shopcott because of the title implications there. And we're going to tie that in with IWF here. This is a whole storyline I'm running here.
Let's go.
This is WWE levels of storylines.
Paint the picture. Paint the picture now.
I'm selling it. Selling the whole line. But if we're going with like the actual matchups that are made right now, obviously winner of this one's going to get the shot at Islam. It makes sense to get that one out of the way and get it kind of set in motion so everybody can get their camps together and stuff. So I feel like that's where that one should go. And it's a fun matchup too. I don't know who. I mean, Armand probably. I guess the odds favor him 2-1.
I think Armand wins that fight.
Oh boy.
I definitely.
I'm gonna have to rewatch Charles, but God, I'm gonna have to rewatch Armand and then rewatch Charles a little bit more. So I want to lean Charles. It's hard for me to bet against him, but Armand does have that next gear, and he is extremely explosive. We haven't seen him with that kind of resistance yet. That's my only thing. And he did lose to Islam. Granted, different stage in their careers, but I might be against y'all, but I like it. I respect it. I'm too close.
Safe to assume this one's going to be a 3-rounder, I guess.
No.
Yeah. Oh no.
Oh, sorry. You mean on paper it's going to be scheduled for 3 rounds? Yes, I believe it'll be scheduled for 3 rounds. Do I think it'll last 3 rounds? Not a chance in hell.
I wish there were 5. 3 favor Charles though.
I think it's a 2-round fight at most.
Oh.
I think Armand Sarukian's going to be too much. He's going to overwhelm him early, pepper him with jabs at distance, and then when he hurts him, Charles is going to shoot in with a rushed takedown and probably get stuffed and just pound it out. I see it being a TKO finish or possibly even a submission win for Armand Sarukian. And yeah, rolling on through since I've already given my third pick in Sean Strickland versus Chris Curtis. My real pick, if that doesn't happen, which would fall in third place, would be Charlie Olives versus Armand Sarukian. We got the good old hive mind working again with Mad Max Meridian here. So yeah, I mean, I don't really have to add any other color than Mad Max did. He did a great job of selling the reason why here. And again, we're right over that kind of halfway slump. We're right at the halfway slump. If it's a 5-fight card, Charlie Olives and Armand Sarukian are not going to go out there and bore anybody. Even if it's a grappling heavy match for 15 minutes, there's no chance in hell that this ends up being a boring match. This is something that ends up being fireworks, no matter how you slice it. Even if Charlie Olives wins, it's going to be fireworks. He's not the guy that I choose to win, but still get it done. That's what's exciting about this matchup is it really, truly could go either freaking way. With that being said, we'll move into the next one. I say you guys fight each other. To see you guys next.
Oh, God.
Ooh.
Break the pull stick in half and throw it in between us.
Roadhouse.
Good luck to the death.
Hey,
I'm asking go. I'm curious to hear. You guys got a good little thing going, and you guys were in sync. So since you guys have similar paths already, let's see where Matt Max is going to take it here next.
So we're at number 4 now. Am I correct
Yep.
on this?
Yes, sir.
So this is where obviously the 5-6 fight card starts becoming a huge factor in the placement. If we're going 6 card, I had the Wiley versus Yan Chanan fight here, and then I had 2 kind of semi-dream fights for the next 2 that were also. I was going 3 title deep on this thing. Like we're just going nuts with it.
I like it, and I think I'm in the same page, brother. Let's go. I like it.
All right, so I'm doing that one there. I'm excited for the matchup. I think Zhang's probably gonna overwhelm her, but I'm a huge Wiley mark, so I gotta try and set aside my bias a little bit in it. But either way, save myself from rambling. That's my 4th pick for that one.
Ooh, I like it, brother. I like it. Yeah, Jan's buzzing right now. She looks damn good. She looks strong, right? She's training in the right way. Wei Lee though, man, she's a tough son of a gun, man. She's just done nothing but impress me over her reign here as a champion. And sometimes it's like when you see greatness or someone that's able to do something at that level, you really have to be hard pressed to go against it. But you make a good case, brother. I mean, Jan is certainly cut from a different cloth, as John Anik would like to say. But yeah, brother, I think it's a good pick.
She is cut.
Right on cue. Appreciate it, brother. But no, so I guess I'll say I'm gonna include a kind of dream matchup since we're all kind of throwing those in here. If it is a 6-card fight, this will not be the co-main event. This is one that's just, hey, spoiling us in riches. Dana had something that none of us saw coming. You did hear some whispers. Supposedly, Leon said he's ready. Supposedly, Bilal was on the Andy Florian show, and he did say he's willing to fight during Ramadan. Why not make that 3rd title fight on this card? Shock the world. Leon versus Bilal. 2, if they're counting it that way, because it was a no contest. I don't know. Hey, man, nothing lackluster about this fight. It could be the main event, potentially. But we got other legends on this card, so I'm going to leave it as the 3rd fight. It is a title fight. After we're getting a tasty treat of a title fight right before with Wei Li Zhang versus Yan Jinan. We're going back-to-back title fights here, and there's still more. There's still more belts on the line, still more titles to be had as I move forward in my card here. We're going big, baby.
Damn.
So just to confirm, these 2 fights that you guys just went over, like these fights are not even the co-main event.
Nope. We're
Nope.
one out.
Oh my gosh.
Coco main.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, shit's getting wild. 300, baby. You gotta treat it like it.
You guys are
Treat it like it is.
You guys
What
are
you got?
insane. I may have blown the load earlier. I mean, I already did my Coco main. That was fucking Charlie Olives and Armin Sarukian, man.
Then who you got as your co? Because I'm on my co now.
Main, man. Jeez Louise. I wasn't ready. God, I feel like the kid who lost his dad's car in the first Fast and the Furious movie. Hit the NOS too soon, man.
Oh, no.
On this
Threw it into
desert
the, yeah, went right into
soon,
the
Junior.
house. Too soon, buddy.
So yeah, man, co-main event. I got Zhang Weili coming in against Yan Xiaonan. I feel like, as Nano likes to say, the co-host with the most, this fight's got title implications. This fight just has implications all over it. Yan Xiaonan has been on an absolute heater. She has looked absolutely stunning in recent years, and I mean, she's truly come into her own. I mean, what can I say? She's no Jasmine. But she's still an absolutely incredible fighter. Sorry, I'm just gonna beat that joke like a dead horse. But no, all jokes aside, I think Yan Xiaonan is an absolute monster. I think that she has what it takes to win this belt from Zhang Weili. And as Nato said, this fight definitely should have taken place in, as our former president would say, China. But China. If it would have happened in China, it would have been huge. But it's gonna be huge. We got Zhang. We got John. We got John and Jog. It's gonna be huge in China. Seriously though, again, all jokes aside, I do think that this fight would have done major numbers, as Tien likes to say, in China. But I think Yan Xiaonan probably would have taken it. Whether it's in China or America, I've got Yan Xiaonan dethroning the champ. I think it's going to make for fireworks. I think she's a very exciting fighter who always goes out with finishing intent, no matter who she's going against. She typically walks through the fire. And she seemingly isn't afraid of these like apex predators, you know, like I truly think that if Yan Xiaonan was in the water and heard, she would swim she would swim towards the fucking fin. You know what I'm saying? So I just think she's a beast. And I think that this would be a great co-main event. But with that being said, I mean, I'm really interested to hear what you guys have slotted for the co-main event.
Man, I mean, we can keep it moving down the line here, but that is a really good choice, honestly. And as of now, that technically would be the main event if it were a fight card coming up this Saturday. It is at the top of the UFC website, so I would assume that is technically the main event. So, yeah, I think it's a good pick, brother. There's just something about these two individuals that I just couldn't get myself as a fan to not have as a co-main event. It is already on the card. You did already sell the fight for us, man. The implications, as I like to say, are already implied on this fight, brother. It is a bad mother effer going in against another bad motherfucker. Let's go. Max Holloway versus Justin Gaethje. That's the fans' co-main event. It would be the main event again in my book if all things were, bygones were bygones and they were this Saturday. That's the fight I'm most excited for. That's the fight I'm telling people, hey, who's fighting this weekend? It's Max versus Justin for the baddest motherfucking title. Yes, there are two other title fights before this. I know this BMF title is not a championship belt, but it is a belt nonetheless. Dana or somebody badass will be in there wrapping it around their belt, their waist, that is. And man, that's just a fun fight. Oh, and you sold it for us early, brother, so I don't need to keep rambling. Curious here where Mad Max's head is at. And again, don't worry, y'all, because if you're saying, hey, how are you going to have this co-main event? You know, what's going to be the main event? Trust me, there's more gold in the building, and you're going to hear it. But here's here Mad Max's co-main event. What do we got?
You got it loaded with more gold than Mr. T over there, man. This shit's ridiculous.
Ooh-wee.
Man. So this is where I kind of jumped the tracks a little bit. This is like the kind of the Jim Miller rematch with, or switching out and getting Gomi in there. I was actually thinking, if we're gonna pull people maybe from like another organization or something like that, I would love. Never gonna happen, but stars align. It's UFC 300. Let's see something crazy. If they did a Pantoja Mighty Mouse matchup, this is, I feel like, the dream matchup. I know it would never happen, but we're talking dream cards. I'm huge on Pantoja. I'm curious what his potential is, and to me, Mighty Mouse will always be the GOAT. So I would love to see that, and then it kind of adds yet another layer of championship elements here. Another belt on the line. It'll never happen. I'm fully aware of this, but God, I would love to see it. I'd love to see those two fight. Both of them crazy. Crazy submission ability, great striking. Pantoja's, dude's a beast, absolute beast.
Bro, I'll be honest. I didn't have that on my bingo card. I didn't think you were going to come out here and say fucking Mighty Mouse, my guy.
I was going to go crazy. Mighty Mouse is always on the brain.
That's being
what we
said,
were talking about him the other day.
That being said, my goodness. Well, Nano, I guess that's a better time than any to go ahead and do the first shot of the show. I'll do a shot to the greatest of all time.
I love that. Sheesh, that'd be a great matchup. He said he's leaving the door open for a return to the circle, I guess, technically. So, going back into one potentially, but boy, oh boy, signing a 1-fight deal or a 2-fight deal for the UFC, that'd be pretty legit.
Just a one-off.
I'll drink to that.
Cejudo.
Had to bust out the Vegas glass for tonight.
Hey. Cheers, brother. Cheers, y'all.
Mad Max for these.
You said what?
I said we'll have to get you a Las Vegas shot glass while you're out in Vegas.
Yeah.
International
there you
Fight
go.
Week, brother.
It's gonna be sweet.
Honestly, I can't wait. This right here. This is the setup, dude. This is gonna be the fucking trio.
Let's go. Making moves, baby. Can't wait.
Dude, all three of us in an octagon. Can't fucking wait. Someone's getting put out. Whether it's fake or real, either way, it's gonna be a great
Have they pinned
Someone's
down
taking a
like
shot.
for sure date for that yet? I have still not seen that. It's
they
like
haven't
100%
announced.
confirmed.
And last year,
Gotcha.
last year was the most fucked up one because like they waited to announce and release ticket sales until like April.
Mm.
Gotcha.
It's the longest they've ever waited. But we already booked our hotels, so we got hotels for us. Nano, we booked yours as well. So, and we booked the ones where like it has like, I think it was like an extra $9 or something to have free cancellation just in case
Yeah.
the dates change.
I
But,
saw that
yeah.
on there. Okay.
Yeah, I feel like right now is the best time to book because they're only going to go up because that same month, like there's like a 3-week time span where it's World Series of Poker, WSOP. And so those hotel prices are going to fucking skyrocket.
True.
Because everybody's going to be out there. So as soon as I realized that was the same, like that was in June, I was like, I'm gonna talk to Mayor so we can book that right away. So yeah, we booked that right away, and yeah. Now, when it comes to the main event here, because it's that time, right? I feel like you guys already know where my main event's gonna be. I feel like you guys threw some really fun dream matches on there, so I should like almost throw a random dream fucking co-main event on here because the Wally Jong one was just like lackluster for you guys. So I'm just gonna pull one, just gonna reach back here, just gonna pull one out of my ass. And we got here's what I think. I think I pulled a heavyweight belt. I just pulled 500 pounds worth of man out of that behind, and we're gonna go ahead and say it: Tommy Aspinall versus Jailton Almeida, first title defense. And I think they should just fucking make it for the undisputed World Heavyweight Championship versus the fucking interim bullshit. Let's be honest, guys. Johnny Bones, he ain't coming back, folks. He ain't coming back. He doesn't want to fight. And if he does, he just wants to fight Stipe, who isn't a world champion anymore. So let's fucking call a spade here and just have the Johnny Bones Jones versus Stipe fight be a legend fight for legacy. Doesn't have to have a belt on the line. And if the kid doesn't want to fight Tommy Aspinall and unify the belts, then with all due respect, we've enjoyed your time in the sport, but like, go do another line and do what you do best. Run from the cops, maybe hide under an octagon. I don't know.
Damn.
I like it. I like it. That's hella funny.
He's not really been known for pulling his punches ever, so.
Hey, this is a no filter show, brother. So why not let it out, right? Let's air it out. Let's call it what it is.
Yeah, I just think the matchup's fun.
That's a fun matchup. It makes sense. Supposedly, too, I don't know if you saw the news recently that Tom Aspinall mentioned. He had some tweets. He's been very active, saying a lot of stuff. But
right, his management about Stipe.
He was reached out to about Stipe, and Stipe said no. If that's true, and that was no to UFC 300 specifically.
Yes.
So if that's not going to happen, maybe Dana is working on something else. That is crazy. That is going to be fun, and it's a unified heavyweight championship belt, like you said. Hey, gold on the line, so gold all in my chain. Gold all in my watch. Don't believe Dana, just watch. Let's go. I like it, brother. That's a fun dark horse pick right there. And I mean, hey, not that we're dreaming too much, because they are still going to announce a main event. That is what Dana said verbatim. So something needs to be filled here. That main event is open, and that is realistic, and it makes sense, and that'd be a fun one. So
it'd be my co-main event.
Oh, that's a co. Ooh. Oh shit. Okay.
Hypothetical co for show.
Okay, co for show. Okay. Damn. Then who? I think, did we already all do our co's? So are you on the co, and then now who's the main? If that's the co, damn, that's a good one.
I mean, I don't have to do any spill on my main event because we've already talked about it. Both of you guys already have, at least, and I think you said I did a good job selling it already. So we'll just do a quick sizzle reel here. It's a fight that we've all been waiting for, folks. It's the BMF belt on the line. It's Max Holloway coming up in age again, tale as old as time. And it's a fight so good I had to do a rhyme. I'm doing all this on the fly. Why? Because I'm just a fun guy. And either way, you know that this fight is probably going to be dynamite. That's right, folks. It's got explosions. It's got lights. It's got hits, and it's got fire. And if I'm wrong, you can come back and call me a liar, but that's okay. I'm not even scared. I probably should have wrote something better. I really wasn't prepared. Nano, I think you should probably go and tell us what's your main before the viewers talk shit about my rhymes and start to complain.
Oh, let's go. Give yourself a round of applause there. That was fantastic. I will go, but what certain should be recognized there. Yeah, attaboy. Great stuff. Not going to rhyme it for you, unfortunately. I think she meant to put the heart eyes emoji instead of the facepalm one, but I hate when they autocorrect. Didn't. Anywho, no, classic mix-up. Yeah, I love it. I love it. You know, and hey, like I said, Dana White has a couple options that he's weighing out and trying to make happen. I'm going to read between the lines here a little bit and reference our boy John Anik and Kenny Florian again. We had a very awesome episode, very busy. They had a lot of people on this most recent episode, but they did have Dricus du Plessis' manager on, and he mentioned that Dricus and their team reached out to Izzy and his coaching staff and the team that, hey, if we win, we're debating about calling out Izzy Adesanya for UFC 300. But before we even do that, I don't want to do it. I don't want to lay on dead man's ears here. Is this a real thing? Is he going to be ready? Is he even going to consider this call out if we do call him out and win? The team responded. Green light. And what did we see Saturday night? We saw a call out of Izzy Adesanya. Who is going to be the real African champ? And what better way to put the icing on the cake for it? UFC 300 3-dub for one of the best, most active fighters of our time. what better story to write as that last chapter in his comic book story thus far? Who's the real you know what of Africa? And I'm talking about the word champ.
I swear I couldn't unmute myself. I was like, the word you're looking for there is champ.
If you know, you know. Just go back and watch the you know, their interactions. I digress, but no, I think that's the one that boy oh boy would be an absolute treat. That just makes the most sense. It feels like that's what Dana White was hinting at. But I will admit, if Izzy's not ready yet, or just something is not there, I do think you throw Kamzat in there, and I'd be just as happy. I'd be just as fine with that. Does he deserve it? I don't know. But would I pay to watch it? Oh yeah, I would. So that's my alternative. If I can get Izzy, because Izzy's obviously the guy. Who else are going to build this card around? Who's the king of UFC 300? It's going to be Izzy trying to get his title back, right? Is that the story to tell?
I got somebody else. I got somebody else down the line, possibly, fitting their way into a fight against possibly one of those people you mentioned on International Fight Week. We'll see. We'll get it.
Damn. That left turn there with the Hamzat caught me off
The
guard.
Hamzat,
I like
yeah.
that. I'm not
I
mad
like
at
that.
it. Yeah. I don't know. For some reason I just did not see that one coming. That was good.
That's fun. I like honestly both of those fights. I'm not mad at the King of Africa fight. It feels like it could be like the new nowadays version of Thrilla in Manila, the Rumble in the Jungle, kind of vibe. Mad Max. Who's the main event?
I feel like they are. That's the one they're kind of trying to build towards. It seems like that's the tracks that have been laid. The kind of trains getting in motion here, and you know, they're leaving the station. At least they're trying to make it happen. I don't personally like the fight. I'm not vested in it at all. The story was there for a minute, and I feel like it's lost a lot of its steam. I'm not super, just because of how hot it is, and it's only a couple months away to give it a camp. Run back the Sean Strickland and Dricus fight over that one. I would rather see that if we're going to do a middleweight title fight. And that seems to be, like, again, what they're doing. So I kind of lean that over the Izzy slot. Now, I do think that's what realistically they're going to do, is it's going to be Izzy and Dricus. They're going to sell it. It'll make money. It's got marketing ability. Like, the matchup's exciting. I just personally would rather see something else.
Yeah, I mean, I think both of you guys are right in thinking that. I just don't think that they end up getting a pen to paper by the time push comes to shove for that. I think whether it's Izzy's side or Dricus' side, I think that either way, one of them is going to kind of put a wedge in that kind of setup. I don't think we get that. I think at best we get Dricus on International Fight Week. I just don't think it's against the person you think. In fact, I think it's against neither of the people you named, Nano, with all due respect. I think we're going to throw a complete curveball in there. And I think both you guys are probably going to look at me like, what the fuck? You shouldn't be running an MMA podcast. But that's okay. This is just a fun episode where we talk nonsensical shit that isn't scheduled. So
I know.
We'll get into that in about, how many fights? 4 fights? Yeah, we're going to do like 3 or 4 fights. Because I have some hypothetical. I did a 6-fight card for the International Fight Week one, but again, I did this because I know for a fact that one of these is going to fall off at the very least. And I do have some recycled names on there from UFC 300, which again might seem a bit nonsensical, but I will explain. I showed my list to Mary at dinner, and she literally was like, "What the fuck?" She's like, you know, you have this guy's name on here twice, right?
So you drank your dinner tonight, I guess?
Nah. Somewhat. I drank with my dinner. No, so honestly, I love all those picks, boys. I think that if we get half of the setup that we described for UFC 300, with the real fights and the dream fights, the hypotheticals and the clavicles, you know what I'm saying? I'll be very excited about it. So I'm excited for UFC 300. I hope everybody else that's listening is that much more excited about UFC 300. And with that being said, folks, we are going to jump on in to our very own International Fight Week picks, what we hope to see, what we think we might see, and just, gosh, Either way, it's going to be a great time. We're all going to be there. We're all going to have a blast meeting these fighters. And with that being said,
It's time
for a little build your own International Fight Week card. Max started off the opening prelim or the opening main card for 300. So Nano, put you in the hot seat. Who starts off the UFC International Fight Week pay-per-view?
Ooh, that is a tough one. Have there been any official fights yet? I guess so.
Not one.
Not a single one.
Not a single one. If you don't have anything, we can come back to you.
Yeah, I don't have anything as of now, but if you guys have something, we can keep it moving.
Mad Max had a whole comprehensive list. This guy built 24 fucking fights. He's got
Let's go.
fight cards from the early prelims on Fight Pass to the top. So who do you got starting off the main card for International Fight Week, Mad Max?
So I am still not writing this guy off. We haven't seen him in a minute. He's kind of been on a bit of a slump. I don't think he's been cut yet. I want to see Petr Yan come back and get another shot. I haven't seen him in a while. You're going to start off the card with kind of, so I don't want to say somebody lower level, but it's like a guy who was formerly champ status there. He was like, right there at the cusp of being really a problem for this division and then kind of slid off. So it's like, all right, let's see what happens. And I want to see him against Song Yadong, dream matchup. I would love that one. I feel like it'd be a good way to start off International Fight Week with two guys coming from different parts of the world, two exciting fighters, good matchup. That was one I threw out there for it. Damn, thanks, folks. This one's for you guys up there in the crowd.
Honestly, it's a really great pick. Anytime you throw your dong into the mix, people get excited.
Mm-hmm. Every time. Slap it up down the counter.
Every
like
time you throw your dong into the mix, people get lit up. It's bad. It's bad jokes. Every day. All day. All jokes aside, Yadong is very strong. And he's down to get the friction on. So I think that'd be a great fight for Petr Yan. I think that would be a fight that definitely wouldn't make the people yawn. You know what I'm saying? Pun intended there. I got something a little bit different. I'm going to sprinkle a little Salt Bay action on you here. I got two fighters to start off the opening fight of the main card. And again, going to be a little bit of a head scratcher here. You're probably going to look at me like I'm a little bit crazy. That's okay. Both these men currently have fights scheduled. I think that realistically, Yair Rodriguez should want to have a quick turnaround, win or lose. I think he needs it for his career. I think he needs a more active run in the UFC this year if he wants to continue to have relevance. And with that being said, I think win or lose probably match up really, really well against Ilia Topuria. Now, I think if Ilia Topuria loses this fight in a close-fought battle against Alexander Volkanovski, you got to think he's going to be the new gatekeeper of featherweight, and you'll probably have to get past him in order to get another title shot. So, Yair Rodriguez versus our guy, Ilia Topuria. Now, the only way I see this not happening or I switch it up would be if Ilia goes out there and stuns the world. In which case, I have Alexander Volkanovski opening up the main card of International Fight Week. Again, against Yair Rodriguez in a rematch, not for the belt. I know it's a crazy one.
I like it.
I think it'd be
a little crazy. You look crazy. That'd be a treat to start off the card. Oh, man.
I mean,
oh, boy.
Yair versus Ilia. I just feel like that one would be fun. And I know you're thinking like, fuck, that's starting off the card? What the fuck else you got? And boy, I got some fire. I got some
Hell
fire.
yeah.
I can't process who I think would win in that one.
Yeah, that's a tough one.
It's a good fight. Let's go.
Ilya looks tough. I mean, depending on how he looks against Volk, some people think he might win. So we're gonna have to wait and see,
Ilya
man.
versus Yair is a very weird matchup because it's a striker versus striker matchup. There's not a grappling threat, so it hits different. In my opinion.
Oh no, that'd be fun. Oh yeah, we see some great striking, some great leg
I'm
kicks.
back here where I say like I don't know who I would honestly pick.
I lean, man. Yadi is my boy, but I probably lean Ilya a little bit just because he's just so gosh darn strong and
in the pocket.
That when it comes to his pocket games, next level. He'll pick your pocket all day. That's a good one. He does have heavy hands. Yeah, that's a good pick. That's a good pick.
Overhand.
I did muster up some thoughts as I was thinking here. And because there's two guys, some thoughts as I was thinking. There's some thought. There's two fighters I feel like I want to see fight, and I think the stars should align. There's some juice behind it. One of them's coming off a loss, unfortunately. But give me Kai Kara-France versus Manel Kape. I don't know what happened with Manel Kape and why they didn't fight last time. Oh, well, I guess was he off like 2 or 3 pounds? Is that why? Yeah, 3.5 pounds. So maybe you don't necessarily reward him, but boy, oh boy, would that be a fun matchup because they were talking a lot of crap and just would be a fun matchup with a lot of heat on it. And Kai Kara-France coming off a loss is still ranked. I believe it's 3rd. Let me double check here. 4th as of now. So I don't know if you reward the kid, but that'd be a fun one. Or I guess maybe throw Mateus. No, Nikolai. Yeah, see.
Nicolau.
Yes, Dava chess.
It's a perfect soundbite.
I love that soundbite so much, dude. I want to get one like that for every person, every fighter that has a hard to pronounce name. Like,
yeah, the more the merrier. That'd be fantastic.
Yeah, dude. Honestly, I love that. I think that's very, very fun. Yeah, man. I don't really have a whole lot to add. It's just side of stuff.
You think for International Fight Week they'd go 6 or would they go 5? They'd probably go 5 for that one, wouldn't they?
I think they'll go 5, but I think they'll stack the fuck out of the prelims. I think we'll have like 9 preliminary fights.
I could see
just
that
in case we have some fights fall off of the main card, which I anticipate happening.
I could see that.
So I can go on who I have next, unless Nano, you have something. You have a second fight for International Fight Week?
I have a couple I'm considering here, but no, lay it on us. What you got?
We'll keep you out of the hot seat. You guys are gonna hate me on this one, because I don't think I could have picked a more douchey fight in the world. I mean, honestly, there's like no other way to describe it. We got Ian Gary coming in against Colby Covington.
Oh,
it's a fight where every single person in the world that likes mixed martial arts at all, to any level, is going to purchase the pay-per-view in the hopes of watching one of these guys get knocked the fuck out. And it wouldn't even matter which one. Like, it's just one of those win-win situations because as long as someone loses, crowd wins. They're in the same weight class. Ian Gary strategically picks fighters that he thinks he can beat that are over the hill. That will also gain him relevancy and pull in the division. What better person than Colby Covington, who's on the wrong side of 34, has looked slower in his last 2 outings, and has looked more beatable than ever in his last 2 bouts than he has in the 10 before them. I think that's an easy matchup. Not an easy matchup for Easy Gary, but for his management, it's an easy pick as far as who they should want next and who's going to be a real needle mover that he also has a chance of looking good against. And I also think that if you put it at the second fight on the main card, it makes sure that everybody has purchased the card very soon. It keeps the momentum going. It builds up the hype and the trash talk. And it really, really, really does build into the next fights that I have on this main card.
That's a good one. That's a fun matchup. That's, I don't know. I hadn't really ever considered that one.
When I was looking over the names and I came up with it, I literally gave myself a little like, oh, champ. Wow. You did it. That was nice. That was nice.
All right. Good job, champ.
You're doing all right, kid. Not bad.
You done good, kid. You done real good.
I like it. What you thinking? Nano, you got a second one or not?
Ah, man. Honestly, I'm just trying to go through like all the fights that like I just would want to see coming up, and I'm trying to look at guys that are ranked. I'm trying to go through different divisions. And honestly, there's 2 guys that I think would be pretty fun to throw on for an International Fight Week. 2 guys that I feel like need to fight Someone that hasn't fought in a long time. Talking about Cyril Gane versus Sergey Pavlovich.
Ooh.
Banger. Two heavyweights obviously going at it. Sergey coming off that loss to Tom Aspinall, but you got to get back on there at some point, right? It was a quick two-hitter quitter. Put him out of there. Cyril Gane hasn't fought in a long time. You know he's been practicing his wrestling, but you know Sergey's not really going to wrestle too much with your boy. He's going to want to strike for the most part. Maybe get him down if need be. Get him up against the fence. Pummel him. But I think that'd be a fun one for a heavyweight division that's going to have a lot of things buzzing, especially if Tom fights soon. If not, then hey, this is another way to, find out if Sergey's still a guy, get back towards another title shot, or if Cyril Gane can step up and get back in the winner's column. I think it's a fun one.
That's a real good one. Man, I'm just a Pavlovich fan all day long. Like, this guy's just the next big. He's a fucking animal. This, that, and the other. But Cyril Gane, he's so light on his feet and everything. It's a good matchup there. I could see that
is a good
actually
match.
happening too. Like, that's realistic.
It is very realistic. And I'm with you on that, Mad Max. I'm definitely a big Pavlovich fan. I think he just is extremely scary. He's like a modern day Fyodor Emelianenko with kind of the presence that he brings to the octagon, in my opinion. But I mean, Cyril Gane, man, oh man. I mean, there ain't nothing worse than when you got a whole gallon of milk, but all the Cyril Gane. You know what I'm saying? Bad jokes all day. It's just gonna be bad jokes all day, kids. No, but again, all jokes aside, Cyril Gane is an absolute beast. If you're fighting him, he will definitely make you as sad as having a whole gallon of milk and all the Cyril Gane. Because he is just light on his feet. He moves like a middleweight, but he weighs in at like 260 pounds or 245 pounds. Either way, it's like over 200 pounds of man in there, just looking to crush your absolute soul and crush your absolute skull. And yeah, man, I think that's an absolute fire matchup for him. I'm here for it. I just want to see him back in there.
Yeah.
And just like Mad Max said in my last pick, I don't even know how I would kind of chalk that up. I don't know who I would pick in that.
that's a crazy matchup. Clash of the Titans there.
Yeah, definite Clash of the Titans. Mad Max, who's that second leg?
So my second pick, I had two for International Fight Week that were kind of contingent upon the outcomes of UFC 300. And maybe it's a little bit of the bias here, but I like old Bo Nickel. If he can get a quick turnaround, one of my dream matchups in this division, I want to see him and old Brendan Allen get after it. I think that matchup it lines up super well. It's two dudes on the come up. Now I think we're really throwing Bo in a little deep there, but if depending on how he performs against Brundage here, he's got the momentum to make a big leap into the division. That's about halfway up the middleweight chart there. So I don't know. I like the matchup. I think it'd be fun. It's a good one.
Man.
Second seed too.
I love and hate that. I hate that for Brendan Allen. I love that for Bo Nickel, but fucking call me a turkey because I'm gobbling that shit up, brother. I mean, that just fucking sounds delicious. Yeah, it's a fantastic fight. Bo and Brendan.
Like to see how the odds would shake out on that one too.
Yeah, I think it would be probably the closest odds match that Bo Nickel's ever had in the UFC.
Yeah. I mean, it'd be hard to favor Bo. So I mean, he can run through Cody Brundage, but I don't think he's gonna be ranked. So
fight, I would lose hope in Vegas. I think.
Yeah, it's gonna be. Yeah. Oh man, that is a big one. I'd love to see that matchup. Honestly, that'd be sick.
That's a very interesting matchup. I really like that matchup.
I don't know if they'll put him in two big slots like that necessarily, but I would love to see it. He's got the hype behind him, and it's not a terrible matchup. That's for sure. It's exciting, at least for a 2 spot. Uh-oh. I don't think I got sound.
Uh-oh. Yep.
You
muted?
Button by accident. Hit the double clicker there. Fat fingers. Hey.
There you go.
So yeah, I was saying, since you took the caboose of the train on that one, that last one, Mad Max, why don't we let you lead in on the third pick of International Fight Week here?
So this one here, I was kind of thinking that the old Strickland Dreykus rematch is pretty unlikely. He's probably gonna take a little bit more time off, and I think there's been a little bit of buzz about it, kind of here and there online. Supposedly they've trained together. I've seen Chael mention it as well. I want to see Strickland and Hamzat in the third seed there, middleweight. I think Strickland is actually going to have a surprising amount to offer in the grappling exchanges for old Hamzat. He's also big as fuck, and yeah, I think it'd be a good one. Hamzat's got the scary factor. Strickland's kind of got the weird fan base behind him, and those two they kind of line up there with the anti-Russia sentiment and everything as well. Like, it's gonna get caught up in all that. The storyline's there. I like it.
I completely agree. I think that'd be a really, very fun storyline matchup. And I'm curious, since you did bring up the fact that they have trained together in the past, I'm curious, did you hear what Hamzat said about Sean Strickland?
I've heard a little bit of both sides, like kind of saying, it turned out this way, turned out this way. I've heard the typical Hamzat said he smashed. What did you hear, I guess?
So I heard two different stories, and they're not at all the same story, but they also match up at being the same take. So I've heard that Sean Strickland had to tell Hamzat numerous times to calm down because he was going too hard on some of the other guys in the gym, and Sean Strickland made sure to say the other guys in the gym. But then Hamzat and his management said that he had to be told by his management and his translator multiple times that Sean Strickland's coach asked him to calm down because he was hurting Sean Strickland and breaking his ego, and he had a match coming up.
Interesting.
Yeah. So if that's the case, very intrigued to see that matchup. That's all I'll say.
Yeah, it'd be fun. The first part of that I've seen where he was asking him to take it easy on some of the other guys.
Take it easy on the rest of the guys. We all know you're better than them. Come on. You're a fucking freak. We get it.
That one I've seen, but the second part of that second chapter there is an interesting fold to it, and
it's recent.
Makes me want to see it even more.
Same. I literally read that I think last week, and I was like, oh boy, that's something.
Yeah,
that's something interesting.
Sold myself on the fight. That's a good.
Yeah, I like that one. I really, really like that matchup. I'm glad you said it. Yeah, I'd be stoked to see that one, man. I would definitely be stoked to see that one. Nano, you got a third fight on the rundown here, brother?
Oh yeah, I mean, again, I'm playing just ultimate dream matchup. Assuming they want to just try to stack this fight card as much as possible, try to get as much world representation as they can. And these are just two guys that I feel like are right there itching to get back at another title shot. One of these guys did unfortunately lose the title shot, but he's still just an absolute legend. Unfortunately, coming off a loss as well. I'm talking about a Kamaru Usman versus a Shavkat Rakhmonov. I just think something has to give in that division. Kamaru is only going to want to answer the bell if it's somebody that he knows is an absolute dog. Someone that's going to give him those nightmares, make him want to wake up early, make him want to stay up late. And I think that's what Shavkat Rakhmonov was going to provide him. He's a boogeyman. And what else do you do with the boogeyman? You find another boogeyman. You find a Freddy Krueger, and you go and you haunt those dreams. And I think that's what Kamaru, the Nigerian Nightmare, is going to do, is haunt those dreams. Shavkat Rakhmonov, teach us all a real lesson. Might see some vintage Kamaru. I mean, every time we see him, I mean, what he did with Hamzat, I mean, taking that on short notice, absolute dog. Earned all my respect back. Like, you hear about the knees, but boy, oh boy, is that a matchup that has just absolute banger written all over it. Could be a main event, honestly, but I'm going to try and find some title fights to put on here so we can see some more gold happening.
I love that matchup, Nano. I think that's a fantastic one. Marty from Nebraska versus Shavkat Rakhmonov, I think, as you said, has fireworks written all over it, man. We might just see some vintage Marty from Nebraska, but those knees do look pretty shot. I don't know if you noticed, but the last two matches, he had to exit the cage walking backwards down the steps. That's tough. That's tough. As someone who has been told by his sports medicine doctor that he will need 2 new knees in probably the next decade, it's not fun to have crappy knees. It doesn't feel good when you do fighting things. So that being said, I train for fun. I don't even really spar anymore at this point. I haven't sparred in years. I'd like to get back into it, but that being said, like, fighting is tough. Sparring is tough. Having bad knees while fighting and sparring is tougher. And I can't imagine that he wants to do this much longer. But as far as dream matchups go, sign me the fuck up, brother. I'm here for it. I think that's a fantastic one. I think it's got, again, fireworks written all over it. It's got implications, as my guy likes to say. I think whoever wins that probably pole vaults themselves right into title contender shot.
Let's see it happen. Who you got for number 3?
Who do I have for number 3? I have a very interesting one here. So I'm gonna go ahead and just get the elephant out of the room here. I'm gonna just break it down to a 5-fight card and go ahead and take off my 6th pick, because the reason I have 6 picks is because I know that one is gonna fall through. My 6th pick is Conor McGregor versus Michael Chandler. I know that someone, somewhere, somehow is going to make that fight fall through. It's just not going to happen on an International Fight Week. I think they push it probably like to the next pay-per-view so that way they can fire up that card and it's not completely watered down. So who is my 3rd pick is the question on the line here, folks. And I'm here to tell you. B. Joe Pyfer. Joe Pyfer versus Dricus du Plessis. For the middleweight belt. I think if Joe Pyfer goes out there and puts a hurting on our boy Jack the Joker Hermanson, he sets himself right on up for a title shot. I mean, if the president of the org bought him a house and started printing shirts that say "Be Joe Pyfer" right after he signed him, what makes you think he's not going to give him a quick run to the title? He is everything that people wish Paddy Pimblett was. He is everything people wish Ian Gary was. He is everything people wish Bo Nickel was. He is that guy. But not only is he that guy, he's that guy, and he's willing to fight guys that are way out of his league as far as experience, as far as tenure, as far as strength and skill and time of schedule, strength of schedule. This man has it all. And if he goes out there and puts it on Jack Hermanson, there's no reason he doesn't get a title shot very, very soon. And if he doesn't take damage, there's no reason they don't stack him onto International Fight Week to add star power to it.
Man, that's a wild one there. I didn't
Joe Pyfer. Sheesh. Skyrocket to the top. Was strong, man. That'd be a fun one. That'd be a fun one. And he's been training for a while. He was on Joe's podcast, Joe Rogan, and I forget, he was mentioning some of the guys that he trained with. Was it Paul Felder? There was some guys that he was a name dropper that had been around for a while, man. He's been getting after it. I like that, though. I like that. Why not? Why not Joe Pyfer? Be Joe Pyfer.
Be Joe Pyfer.
Be Joe Pyfer, man. In the UFC, 2 years later, a UFC champion. Cinderella story.
God, that'd be nuts. Yeah, and he hits harder than Francis Ngannou, apparently, so. You know,
Yeah, he broke the record. That's nuts.
Yeah, I don't even know what to think about that. That's fucking nuts. Good matchup, though. I like it, especially for the spot there, right in the middle. Good spot.
You know what I'm saying? I feel like if we're going to have other title shots on here, if we're going to have other big name fights on here, this is a good title shot. And just kind of, if we're going to have a 3 title shot card, as they tend to like to do for International Fight Week, I think this is a good one to start it off.
Not mad at it.
I like it. I like it. Is it me? Oh.
If you're not ready for the pick right now, you have to do another shot, bro.
I'll do one just for the principle. But because it's like I'm trying to be somewhat realistic. Like I'm looking at how things are going to be lining up. But it does feel like this matchup, and I had to try to find some sort of women representation here. But why not the women representation be with some gold? I'm talking about Raquel Pennington, who just got her gold belt and is a champion. As a girl that's doing a lot of chirping. How about Juliana Pena? Why not? Why not run it? That's a fun one.
That's a fun card. I mean, it's a fun fight. My question is, who do you think wins that fight?
I think Juliana Pena finds a way to get it done, man. She's got that dog in her. She's got that dog. Her chin's obviously questionable, but I don't think Raquel Pennington is going to go out there and be dropping bombs per se, at least based off what we saw last week. So
I mean, I got to disagree with you, man. If Juliana Pena's got that dog in her, then Raquel Pennington's got that lion in her. You know what I'm saying? And a lion, last time I checked, probably just fucking eats a dog, brother. So I think if you're saying your girl's a dog, she's the old yeller in this story. She's gonna get put out to the pastures.
Oh no.
Damn.
Oh no. Well,
God damn.
guess maybe I'll see her in dog heaven, but cheers to that.
They say all dogs go there.
Let's go.
Cheers, brother. Mad Max, let's hear it.
So is this our fourth pick, correct? Co-main.
Correct.
So for this one, this is the second one that I had that was real contingent upon International Fight Week. This is the one that Olin already mentioned as well here. I was thinking the winner of Old Holly and Kayla, which if the UFC gets their way, I would imagine they're leaning towards Kayla just for the storyline. She fights the women's GOAT. She comes back. Old Amanda Nunes comes out of retirement, smashes old Kayla, and then rides off into the sunset again. Just does the repeat and says, "See ya." That's my co-main of the night.
Man, I'm not mad at it. I'm definitely not mad at that. I was looking for a goat sound effect, but I got nothing. I got a goose.
Close enough. Same thing.
Same. Yeah, man. I'll be honest. I think that's a crazy good fight. That's a crazy good fight. While I'm on the animal sounds, there'll be some crows in the sky on that night because someone's gonna die up in there, brother. I really do think that Amanda Nunes versus Chris Cyborg has never been the fight to make. But Amanda Nunes versus Kayla Harrison, folks, that's one that we all want to see. We all want to see that, and we all need to see that. I think, by God, we all deserve to see it. So I'm not mad at that. No, do you have a co-main event on the tip of your tongue that's just dying to get out, or what?
I think did I shoot my load? I think I might have said it on the last one. Was it the women's co-main? I think that's my co-main as the fourth. I don't necessarily have a six as of now, but I can definitely try to think of one. But that was going to be my co-main with another title fight here as the main.
With Pena and Pennington.
I think so. I think that's my co.
I was disrespectful to the women, which usually never happens with me.
How dare you? No, maybe they'll stack it up though, brother. Maybe they'll stack it up. You never know, right? You never know.
I didn't stack it up with any women's fights here for the International Fight Week, because International Fight Week is for the boys, dude. All jokes aside, my co-main event, you're gonna love this. I got Arman Sarukian getting that quick win over Charlie Oliveira and having a very quick turnaround, folks, and fighting for the belt over a fresh off of Ramadan, Islam Makhachev.
Oh, that'd be fire.
I think they put him out there. I think Dana tries to fight we're saving him for Saudi Arabia allegations and puts him on International Fight Week in Vegas for us boys. I think that's a huge fight. I think Arman Sarukian fought him at 22 years of age for his debut fight in the UFC. Took him the distance. Believe it was a split decision, if I'm not mistaken, without looking anything up. Could be wrong on that one. I know it was a decision, though. Either way, Arman Sarukian put up a hell of a fucking fight. Pushed Islam a little bit, more than anybody else has in recent years. And I think that's a great co-main event. Mad Max, tell me how that makes you feel.
I like it. It's a good one. It's exciting as shit, and it makes sense. Like, it logically makes sense.
I like it. Yeah, it does make sense.
Definitely makes sense.
Oh man, we'd be spoiled. I will say, I mean, the only wild card to that is like if I had to take a cheap way out and add another fight, I would definitely love to see Islam on there. But Justin Gaethje could be another one potentially. If he beats Max, I mean, why not give him
Max and not take any damage though? Like, that's tough.
Yeah.
How long will it? Well, yeah, I mean, it's fair. Justin doesn't care.
Max has never been dropped, and he's never been finished.
Yeah, because it's a BMF. Is it 5 rounds or is it 3? Do we know that for sure?
It's a
It's gonna be 5.
It's still considered a title, even if it's a fake title. It's 5 rounds.
Damn.
And
they haven't confirmed, but I would bet my left testicle on it. It is a 5-round fight, brother. That's my favorite one.
It deserves to be.
Yeah, and that'd be like less than 8 weeks away. Yeah, that's probably It's probably too close. You're probably right. It probably would be Armand or Charles Olives if he wins, but Armand, man, that'd be a fun matchup. I think you're on that one for sure.
No, you're right about it. Yeah, man.
Know that.
I know that. Yeah, I'm not mad at that match. I am not mad at that match.
That was almost my main pick for this one.
You guys are either gonna love or hate my main. It's one of those.
Ooh, let's hear it.
Are we ready? Is it main time right now? Is it time?
I think we're there.
Oh my goodness.
Lead us there.
Time!
Well, if that's the case, I guess we'll go ahead and get right on into the main event here, folks. I'm going to be honest. When it comes to this next guy, for about 3 years, he had all of us fans yelling, "Where are you?" And then he finally came back, and he lasted like 30 seconds in there, like a young man getting into the saddle for the first time. And then since then, it's been, "Where are you?" And I'm so sorry. He wants to fight an old man tonight. We're talking about Jon Jones, folks. And you already know. I think the fight that we will get as the main event of the evening of International Fight Week, it's going to be Jon Jones versus Stipe Miocic. It was supposed to happen last year at International Fight Week. Got postponed, got canceled. After they sold all the tickets, sold some wolf tickets, as the Diaz brothers like to call them. I think they end up giving it back to us people, we the people. I think they make it right, and I think we get a hell of a fight, folks. That's what I have as my main event. I think if Jon Jones comes back, there's just nobody in the world that out-headlines him, not even Conor McGregor. And I think that if Dana White is saying that Conor McGregor's announcement of fighting on IFW is incorrect, it's because he's planning on slating him on a different fight card. And he would only push Conor McGregor or push back against Conor if he had a Jon Jones fight week.
Yeah. And that's the big, I guess, question mark here, right? Is Conor McGregor going to be on this card? Because if it's him and Chandler or if it's him and Nate Diaz, that's the automatic main card. I mean, I guess that's kind of the dark horse you can definitely make a case for. Or at least that a lot of us would want to see for sure. But, man, that's a fun one. One that I'm kind of hoping for, but it sucks because as I'm doing research on the kid, it's ran into some recent legal issues that, you know, you never want to see. But I'm talking about a Jamal Hill getting his title shot against an Alex Poatan Bejeda.
Legal issues.
No, I know, man. Bummer. He made some mistakes, had some owies, did some boo-boos, did some no-nos. But that would be a matchup I'd love to see that can headline a fight, international fight week. Alex Bejeda Poatan, one of the best in our current just day and age of just legendary fighters. Legendary what he's done in his UFC career thus far. Like MMAnomaly mentioned here, he hit his brother. Maybe he just needs to get in the octagon, blow off some steam. I think you're absolutely right, man. It's probably what he needs to do here. So that'd be my pick. Not necessarily the best in terms of PR on that front, but hey, if we're not getting Conor or Nate, if we're not getting Conor or Chandler, then or Islam, then I think we're going to see Alex defending his title against Jamal Hill.
That's a good one. That's a real good one. I mean, I was been considering that matchup there and trying to think where to sprinkle it in and if he's going to be back in time from that injury and stuff. I cannot wait for those two to get after it whenever it happens. That's a good one there. I like it. That's your main event, right?
Yeah, that's the main.
Strap on the line. Damn.
Let's go. What you got, Matt Max? What you thinking?
Man, so I was actually going to the heavyweight division like Olin was, but in a different route here. I wasn't thinking that Jon Jones was going to be ready in time, and as a consequence, I think Dana is going to have a little bit of come to heart here, a little bit of realization that the things need to get moving, and he's going to put the actual unification on the line here, and he's going to throw together old Tommy Aspinall and Cyril Gahn. No sound from you, Olin. You're going shithouse, but there's no. Strip it out.
Yeah, let's take his shirt off here. What are we doing, Olin? Oh God, what's going on?
But yeah, I think it's a great matchup. I think it's a fun one. It should get the fan base behind it. Both of these dudes kind of are the fighters representing their country at the moment, or at least the lead fighter representing. And yeah, I think it moves. I think it moves the line. I'm down for it.
I think if that happens, it'd be the greatest John Jones fail of all time. Just hands down. But yeah, I'm fucking here for it, bro. I'm over the John Jones holding up the belt. I think we need to unify the belts with Tom Aspinall. I think we need to have a coming to sensus talk here. Yeah, man. Like the whole John Jones situation with Stipe is just driving me absolute batshit crazy, man. It's there's just no reason for it. He's in the prime of his career, and he's sitting on the shelf on purpose, waiting to fight an old man. And I say that with all due respect to Stipe, as a Stipe fan, even though he beat my boy DC twice, 2 out of 3. Still a huge fan of his. I had to watch one of those fights while in fucking New Orleans at an Airbnb. Literally worst placement to watch DC lose a fucking fight. I went out and drank fucking hand grenades on Bourbon Street after that. Just the worst fucking time. Brother. That being said, I love that fight. I think it's fantastic. Anytime you put Tommy Aspinall in there with anybody, you might as well just turn me into Fry from Futurama and take my money. because I'm here, bro. Like I like Tommy. I think he's fantastic. What I'm really I wouldn't say curious about, but more intrigued by is the fact that I don't think any of us had Patty on our cards, do we?
That was the only one I maybe entertained it against Jim Miller on 300, but that was a crazy dream one. But aside from that,
that's lightweight arousing, bro. Like the thought of Jim Miller just chinning the fuck out of Patty Pimblett. Oh man,
that was my swap for Bobby Green. I was thinking with the name behind it and the fan base and everything else, that it's a very winnable fight for Jim Miller. Pop that one as like the lead of the prelims or something. That's a yes. I mean, that's all day long.
Yes, I love that. What do they say in fucking Kenny Powers? I can feel it down in my plums. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I feel that one. I'm feeling that one all the way down in the plums, man. That's a good one.
Let the boy watch.
Let the boy watch, as his father did before.
Let him learn.
Let him learn.
And his prior.
Let the kid watch.
Let the boy watch. What a great character our boy Will Ferrell plays in that Eastbound and Down show. Shout out.
Honestly, incredible.
Oh, fantastic.
We need to get Grasso in there. That just dawned on me.
I know. I was trying to figure that one out too. Man, I do think it's gonna
grass or what?
Oh man, no. I went a different route with my female fighters.
Who would you want to see Grasso fight and defend against? That's the question.
I think we
Lynchfield?
Unless
No.
Mano.
Mano.
Oh no, Mano.
Mano.
Mano. Oh, you know, Mano. I know, Mano.
I don't know what you're saying, but I'm here for it.
Oh.
I'm here for it. Oh, I'm making myself laugh with that jokes.
Yes.
Oh man. Yeah, I think either one of those fights would actually be a really fun matchup. Manon or Aaron Blanchfield. I would like to see Aaron Blanchfield versus Manon. Is that scheduled?
It is.
Oh,
that's why I mentioned that.
Yeah, I didn't realize that's scheduled. Yeah, okay, then winner of that for sure.
I think it's a match.
But when is that fight taking place? I feel like it's next month, right? Oh no, March 30th. Yeesh.
That'll be tough. That'll be tough to run back.
That'll be a tough turnaround. March 30. April, May, June. That's 3 months. As long as they don't get like super bad lacerations, should be okay. Should be an okay turnaround. Like concussion protocol will be 90 days.
It'd be
actually.
I mean,
it'd be pretty damn close.
Yeah.
it'd have to be a landslide.
Have to go in there and have like a flawless performance.
Exactly.
The opposition's lunch money to get that fight. Actually.
Now, matchup wise, if anybody's gonna do it, I mean, Blanchfield's a monster.
Or Manon.
They could give it to Jessica Andrade.
Like you got to think if Blanchfield comes in for a quick takedown, it could be a female Askren versus Jorge, brother.
Good.
But it wouldn't be a flying knee. I think she'd hit her with like a classic Thai round kick. Step back, boom. or a step back switch kick. I think it'd be fucking disgusting. Oh, I just
fire.
literally saw it in my head. Oh God, I'm gonna dream about that tonight.
Hell yeah.
I'm gonna dream
Hello.
about that tonight.
Oh.
Ayo. So I mean, this is available on YouTube and Twitch. So I feel like we should talk a little bit of video games for funsies. Mad Max had a stream earlier. You were playing, what was it, Deathloop?
Yeah, I've been messing with that lately. I'm kind of starting to get the hang of it here. It's like a real weird, complicated.
It seems like a real complex game.
Yeah, yeah, it very much is. It's like Bethesda's attempt at almost like a Majora's Mask type thing, where it's a whole time loop that's going over and over, and you kind of have to like pick items that you can bring with you, so you're managing that, and you know you can only bring them through loops. But it's fun. It's a fun game. The style's cool. That's probably the biggest thing is the style. It's like a 70s
Stylistically,
kind
it
of
looks
vibe.
dope.
Yeah, the art and everything. I
It
really
almost
like
feels
that.
like what's that other game that was it Bethesda that did it? With like the big daddies and the little sisters.
BioShock.
BioShock. It has a
Yeah.
BioShock vibe to it, but like
100%. Well, and it is a
different.
Bethesda game, so yeah, 100%.
Okay. Yeah, that tracks. Are you a fighting game person at all?
You mean like Street Fighter and Tekken and all that?
Yeah.
Marvel vs. Capcom, man, that was my shit. I used to play the piss out of some Marvel vs. Capcom.
I love MVC. MVC
That's
2
fire.
takes the cake. Obviously, I think if you're a real MVC fan, you got to say that.
Oh yeah.
If you don't, I will fight you in real life. MVC 2. And if you say you play MVC and you can't tell me your team of 3 for MVC 2, then I don't believe that you actually play MVC. Is it just a fact?
Now.
You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to play right now, brother. That being said, Marvel vs. Capcom 2, arcade sticks, go-to team, gotta be Cable, Captain America, and War Machine.
Damn, good matchup. We're similar there. I was a Spider-Man Wolverine Cable.
Oh, I would sometimes switch out War Machine for Wolverine.
I played the Wolverine and Cable or Captain America swap. Captain America getting there occasionally.
Oh, nice. There you go. There you go.
Cable and Cap work really, really well together. Do you have an MVC team of 3 there, Nano?
Yeah, I mean, and no team starts without my captain. I'm talking Ryu. I mean, that's my guy every time, anytime.
I was about to say this Captain right here?
Big Ryu guy, other captain, different captain. I'm a Team Capcom on this one, but definitely going Ryu for sure. And then always throwing Wolverine in there, and then probably Hulk is my third. Just OP,
Hulk's a powerhouse, bro.
OP,
I'm sure.
OP.
He's
And it's just fun.
Wanted to be good with, but I could never like
Same.
figure him out. Him and
I
Juggernaut.
sucked with Hulk.
Fair.
Juggernaut I was better with than Hulk. I will openly admit. But I've never been good with Hulk. Like, I don't know why. His moveset, he just feels so fucking clunky to me. It's like in Tekken, Jack. Like I used to play Tekken when I was a child, like the first Tekken, right? The first and second one with my dad. And my dad would whoop my fucking ass as Jack. And I would try and play Jack, and I'm like, how is he good with this guy? This guy sucks dick. Like, he's not good at all. He's slow. He's clunky. He feels like a tank when he moves.
Mm-hmm.
But my dad would play him like he's fucking Jackie Chan, bro. Like, just dancing around and shit. So I don't get it. Certain characters, like if you're good with Hulk, chef's kiss to you, brother. I tip my hat. I understand how the hell you do it, though. With all due respect.
I didn't say I'd win a lot of these, but he was in my lineup.
That sound that he made too is what I actually associate with that game. Like when you would go in the arcade, the Hulk, like him screaming, is what you would hear from the. Yeah, exactly. That's what you would hear from the arcade. Is the Hulk sounds.
Yeah.
Super silly shy guy says his team: Spider-Man, Wolverine, and Ryu.
Ooh.
I'm
nice.
shocked
Hell
that you
yeah.
have Spider-Man on there. We called him Spider Shan when he was my roommate.
And Power World. Yeah, been playing that the last like 2
You mean
days.
Pokemon with guns?
It's pretty fun. The multiplayer on it's where it's at, of course, but it's pretty fun.
I haven't played it yet, but it is on Game Pass. So I'll probably download it. I'll be honest with you. I haven't played a whole lot of games this week. It's been a very busy work week. But I did play one game for like an hour today before this stream. That was Tekken 8. I got that early access because I did the pre-order of the Ultimate Edition. Been a Tekken diehard for a long, long time. Man, I love that game. I already started playing. It's fantastic. The little character story modes are very, very fun. The post win videos are hilarious for some of them. So far, they're hilarious for most of them. Moveset is very slick. Character customization, very fun so far. Hope they add more to it, but it's still very, very fun. I don't know if either of you guys have watched the series Warrior on HBO Max. Soon to be on Netflix, I'd imagine, because, fun fact, Warrior, it was written by Bruce Lee when he was in a hospital bed thinking he has broken his back and would never walk again. So he wrote this whole concept of the Chinese coming over in the 1800s, settling into America, getting racially mistreated, opium wars, a lot of things. And years later, his wife and his daughter, they got it produced by HBO, and they got one of the guys from Mortal Kombat in there. He's one of the main characters. It's an incredible show. One of the best shows I've watched in the last 10 years. Incredible. It's called Warrior. It's on HBO Max. And you know it's good when it got canceled after season 1, and so many petitions arose that they brought it back and did 2 more seasons. Oh, and by the way, it got canceled again just last week. But a day before they announced they canceled it on HBO Max, it was made public that Netflix acquired seasons 1 through 6. Mind you, there are only 3 seasons. So probably going to come out with 3 more seasons, probably going to be readily available on Netflix. If you want to be early to the party, I highly recommend you check it out on HBO Max. That being said, first thing I did was I changed martial law into the main character from that show. It was very easy to do with the customization option. I'm literally going to make a video after this and tag the actor in it. Because they now when you do the character portraits for your customized, there's a green screen option. So I just saved it to my Xbox thing, upload it to Canva, black out the green screen, and put them in front of a Warrior show backdrop. That's like, hey, check it out. I made a son in Tekken.
You said it's in early access right now?
Yeah, it's in early access right now. I think the base version of it comes out tomorrow or the next
bowling in the old one, or in some of the old ones, dude. So much fun.
Dude, all the mini games that they came up with in Tekken were really great. Even like the very first PlayStation game, because it's made by Bandai, or not Bandai, it was made by Namco, right? So the first one that came out, Namco also made Space Invaders. So when the first one came out, PlayStation 1 notoriously had shit loading times. It's a fact. Like, not shitting on PlayStation as an Xbox guy. The original Xbox had pretty shit load times too, folks. But we didn't have Tekken. And Tekken was really smart with what they did with their load screens. So on the PlayStation 1, they had it set up to when the game was opening and it was doing the massive loading, it made you play Space Invaders for like 30, 40 seconds. So you didn't notice how long it was taking.
That's smart.
Bro, I loved it.
Yeah. Good utilization of the stuff that they've already got. And it's like it's a nature of the beast. You're going to have the loading time, so you might as well try and do something with it creative.
And it's something that doesn't take any bandwidth or slow down the loading time. It's essentially like the when your internet crashes and you're using Chrome, how they have the little frog thing that you do with the space bar. Mm-hmm. It was the original version of that. It's like, oh, you're stuck on this page? Play game.
It's those little things that really make games pop like that too. It's those little
I remember this 20 years later. It stood out, right? It worked. Also, I gotta say, since Shan asked as well, how's Tekken 8? It's fantastic, Shan. One of the best character lists out of the gates that I've seen in a Tekken game in a very long time. And again, the customization options are very fun. They have an ongoing story for it, and they also have character episodes. So, like, if you just want to play through Steve Fox's story and see what happens to him at the end, you can do that in like 20 minutes. Makes it very easy. And also, unlike the last games, if you've ever played Tekken or Mortal Kombat or Street Fighter, a lot of the customization options are locked behind like an in-game paywall. Like, you don't have to spend real money on it, but you have to play and grind and get 100,000 gold or 100,000 zenny or whatever their money currency in game is to spend on the cosmetic items. You beat one character episode in this game and you get 1 million gold. I literally told Mara, I was like, I'm probably just going to play through as many of these character episodes as I can before they do an update and realize that they fucked up by setting it at 1 million gold. Because like I have 3 million gold and the most I've spent on a cosmetic item is 50K.
Oh, that's wild.
So I'm just like, yeah, I'm like, I don't think they knew the scaling that they were setting up for this.
No, not at all. Or they're just cool with the fans. Yeah, I would be banking that shit while you can.
Yeah, I told Mary, because I don't think they'll retroactively take money out of my gold pot. but I do think that they'll probably be like, what the fuck were we thinking? Everybody's already bought all the cosmetic items.
Might be just ramped up for early access too. It might go down whenever the main one comes out.
That's a really good call.
Might bait or
Strike while it's hot.
on that shit. Yeah, exactly.
It's hot. So are you a Tekken guy?
I played it a little bit here and there. Actually, my girlfriend plays it more than I do. She's like all about it, and she's the one who told me to play the bowling and shit like that. Her and her brother are like all about it. Yeah, they're big on it. So I played it with her some. I was definitely more Marvel vs. Capcom, Street Fighter, those whole that genre. Mortal Kombat a little bit here and there.
Oh, I love Mortal Kombat. I definitely fucks with Mortal Kombat.
Yeah, that was kind of more my speed, especially growing up having the Sega Genesis, Mortal Kombat on that bitch.
Okay, go-to Mortal Kombat character all time.
If all picks here, I like Reptile. I was a Reptile guy.
All right.
Oh, Reptile's sick.
Yeah.
I'm not mad at Reptile.
Nah, that's sick.
Yeah,
Baraka's.
You got one.
I was like, Baraka's is always the fun one for me. Just
Barack Obama.
go with the swords. Barack Obama.
President of Mortal Kombat.
Great one.
Oh yeah, baby.
Listen here. I'm going to cut you with the blades in my wrist.
Hell yeah.
Brock is
Scary looking guy, you know, the swords. And I think it was always because my brother was like Scorpion or Sub-Zero all the time. So I had to try to like go alternatively, but Baraka's the one that sticks out. Who's your guy, Olin?
So, not gonna lie to you. First time I ever played Mortal Kombat, I played it on a Sega Genesis, and it was with the twins in the trailer park, Blake and Drake, and they whooped my ass, and they made fun of me, and they were like, "You don't even get to play with Scorpion. You're a Johnny Cage." And so I played with Johnny Cage, and from that point on, I learned Johnny Cage's moveset, and I'll be honest with you, I don't think his moveset's changed in fucking 22 years.
No,
So
it hasn't.
I will make people rage quit with Johnny Cage. Johnny Cage is that guy, and I am that player.
Let's go.
If there's a close second, you already know it's your boy Smoke. Where there's smoke, there's fire, and your boy's all about that fire.
Smoke was dope. That was
Smoke was the most annoying
urban
player in Mortal
legends,
Kombat
too.
11.
Yeah. Back in the day, though, man, that was like a character that was like rumored, and that was pre-internet shits where everybody was like, man,
He was a
you
robot.
gotta
Like
get
they've changed
this.
his character design so much.
Yeah, it was sick.
He was like Cyrax and Sector originally.
Him and like Ermac were like rumored ones, and everyone was like, man, this shit's crazy. Yeah.
OG
Good
Ermac
shit.
was so fucking cool, bro.
Did you see that they announced that they are starting filming on the second Mortal Kombat movie?
They just wrapped. They wrapped
Okay.
yesterday or day before.
I saw an article on it. Hell yeah.
Yeah, I follow all the actors on that because most of them are like part of that Warrior show. And I love that show. I'm like obsessed with it now. So like I started following them and they always post about it, or they have been recently. So like, yeah, that bodybuilder, Martin Ford, giant fucking bald guy, jacked with all the tattoos. He's playing Shao Kahn.
Good pick.
Yeah. And like the guy like Joe Taslim and the other dude from the Mortal Kombat movie, the first one, they like both went to the gym with him and they're like, that was terrible.
Yeah, that guy's
Because
a
like
freak.
they're both like actual martial artists. Like I don't know if you know, but Joe Taslim from the first Mortal Kombat movie, he's like a 2 or 3 time judo champion in real life. And they got him out there doing like fucking spinning tornado kicks and shit, which is just insane. That's like when you find out the guitarist from your favorite band was a nationally ranked fucking drumline drummer in high school. That's an actual story about one of the kids that I know from Bossier City, Louisiana. He's like the guitarist of this band that's done world tours, and he was like the number 2 ranked drummer in the nation in high school. I'm like, you play guitar? When did that even fucking happen? You gotta feel like for the drummer on the band when it's like the guitarist is like, no, let me show you a better way to do that.
Yeah, I got this. Have a seat. I got this, pal.
Just throws his guitar around his back. He's like,
Kid's a savant.
dude, I'm telling you. Yeah, like I just feel like, yeah, man. It's a lot. But Mortal Kombat, man. Mortal Kombat is definitely one of those games where I feel like it's universal. Everybody has played. Everybody has a character. And with the movies, I don't know. Have you guys both seen the first one?
The original or like the reboot?
Well, I mean, the original. If you haven't seen it, I don't think I would have invited you to the show.
Yeah, the original. That was the first soundtrack I ever got when I was a kid. Got the Mortal Kombat soundtrack, and I got a Goofy movie soundtrack.
Oh,
That's a banger. That's a banger.
Oh, Powerline. Hell yeah, dude. The original is classic. But yeah, I just watched that newer one. God, not probably 6 months ago, something like that. Somewhere in that ballpark. I thought it was fun.
Fucking love it. Love it.
Yeah, it was decent. It was decent. I mean, it's better than the second one from back in the day. That cheese.
I thought it was fun. I mean, Mortal Kombat Armageddon, I think we can all agree is one of the worst movies of all time. Mm-hmm. Not even video game movies, just one of the worst movies of all time. You did perfect casting for Johnny Cage in the first movie, and then you not only recast him, you kill him in like fucking 6 minutes. Not even that.
Yeah.
Fun fact: do you know why they recast him?
Mm-mm.
Because the original actor read the script and found out they were killing him off and said, "Fuck this."
Aw, that's lame.
Yeah. Good for him. Also,
like the
fun fact:
original
did you
guy.
know that Tom Cruise was a big fan of Mortal Kombat and tried to get onto the set, which was on a remote island, because he was filming, I think it was Mission Impossible or some shit around the same time, and they wouldn't let him on the set.
Don't stay off.
Well, they had originally tried to cast him as Johnny Cage, and like scheduling conflicts and money didn't work out, so they were like, "Fuck you, you can't come."
Damn.
Like you already said no.
Yanked his card. Fuck him.
And
Yeah,
I think
there's
we can all
opportunity.
also agree that, like, when it comes to Mortal Kombat Armageddon, like, worst recasting ever for Raiden.
Oh, you're talking. Yeah. what's the
You went from the
original dude?
Highlander to the No-Lander, bro.
I fucking love the original guy. He's so funny too. I can't think of his name.
The
right
original guy was the guy from the Highlander.
now. Yeah, I know. I'm trying to think of.
They
his
didn't
name,
even pay him.
It's Mortal Kombat Annihilation.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Oh fuck, Christopher Lambert.
He's in a lot of like other fucking random movies, and I'm like, oh my god.
Yeah,
this fucking
Christopher
guy, bro.
Lambert. That's his name.
Christopher Lambert, yes.
Yes. That
But
dude,
dude-
is the fucking weirdest guy of all time. He's
Dude, the
awesome.
guy from the first movie, though, like literally, he found out that they were running out of that they were running out of money. So he basically told him, like, pay the other actors, pay the stunt actors, don't worry about paying me. He did most of the money for free. He paid for his own flight to the fucking premiere. Like, dude, you should look up the facts of filming. It's wild. All the shit that happened on the first one. Dude that played Liu Kang got like 3 ribs broken in the final fight scene, filmed it with the 3 broken ribs because they were running short on film time on the fucking island. When they first got there, they had no bathroom and had to shit in an outhouse that they built with the fucking set crew. Like, brother, it's insane.
I just like Christopher Lambert in it. That dude's something else. His fucking laugh in that movie. It's like, it's exactly like fucking other dude. It's so funny.
He's so perfect, dude. Christopher Lambert is so fucking perfect as Raiden, though. You gotta admit, like, the story of Raiden, homie's a demigod who's kind of just a douchebag.
Yeah.
Like, he has so much power to make a difference. He's kind of like the Watcher from Marvel. He's all, I can only watch. I can't intervene. Like,
They're
but you're also one of the most powerful fucking beings in the universe. What are you doing?
Is that new one like a continuation of the storyline? Where are they at on the storyline on those? Like, do you actually play them enough that you know where they're fucking at it or no?
The game?
Yeah, because I know they've rebooted a couple times.
So, are you talking about for MK1, the newest one that came out?
Yeah,
That one follows the storyline to some extent of the last one. Because if you
Gotcha.
played through the last one, they essentially, I don't want to say they rebooted the game, but they left the story open to be rebooted because Liu Kang became a time god essentially, or an elder god. And he's essentially like, think of like Thanos with the time stone. Like he can rework the entirety of the universe. And that's essentially what Liu Kang did in Mortal Kombat 1. So when you start the story without any spoilers, essentially there's no Liu Kang in the universe because now he's a time god. But because Raiden is not a time god or an elder god, he is part of this universe. So Raiden is essentially the Liu Kang.
That's cool.
It's very weird. It's very timey-wimey, but it's so much fun, bro.
Yeah, I like that kind of shit.
It's a fun story. I haven't finished the MK1 story yet, but it's a lot of fun so far.
Interesting. Yeah, I need to.
I definitely would recommend it. If you're a Mortal Kombat guy, it's a lot of fun. They have a lot of really, really nice characters.
Damn. I'm about 2 or 3 behind on those. I got some catching up to do.
Oh, so you haven't played through Mortal Kombat 11?
I'm trying to remember which one I had last. They did a free one, I think, a little while back on PlayStation, but for the life of me, I feel like it was 10, but I can't recall. I'd have to go
MK10
through
was a
and
lot of
see.
fun. It set up stuff for 11, but if you like wanted to skip to one, I feel like if you started on Mortal Kombat 1, you'd feel a lot of like, what the fuck? So I feel like you should probably play Mortal Kombat 11, play through the storyline. Like me and Mare played through that. We just took turns going through the fights, and a mind fuck of a story, bro. It's like a Marvel universe kind of situation. And then MK1 is just a very, very fun continuation of it so far. So a lot of timey-wimey stuff, a lot of like multiversal kind of travel, but I feel like it's a very well composed story, especially for a Mortal Kombat game.
You get down on any of those newer ones, Nano, or not really?
No, not really, man. I got to get back on the gaming for sure. I've been kind of MIA over the last couple years since I moved out here, but I'll get back on. You guys are motivating me for sure.
You're
trying,
busy, man.
We're trying, man.
Try, man. Got this wedding planning, but best believe once that's over, a little more time to relax.
I say married Nano is gonna be a gamer. I'm ready for it.
Make the wife happy.
Just the hobby she wants me to pick up as a married man for sure.
Exactly.
I think it's a hobby that'll keep you out of trouble, brother.
Yeah, true that.
So with that being said, guys, we've enjoyed you sticking with us for, just a little over 2 hours at this point. That's it for UFC 300. That's it for our picks for what we think should line up UFC International Fight Week. And we even got to have a little bit of fun side banter about some video games and TV shows. Whether you're new here, old here, returning, anywhere in between, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, smash that bell for notifications. And as always, as we like to say on this show, keep on going, keep on growing. And we will see you next week, folks. Thanks again.
You've been listening to the MMAnomaly Show. No filter. As you may have been able to tell, we dig the MMA, and our passion is to dive deep into the upcoming fights, give you our expert breakdowns, and help you make sense of all the chaos that is the fight game. We hope you've enjoyed the show. If you did, make sure to like, rate, and review. We'll be back soon, but in the meantime, make sure to find us on YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, and Twitch at MMAnomaly. Be cool, and we'll see you next time.